No, I don't. I live in Newman. Yeah, well, who knows? I think there was a spot when one of our board members had ill health, and Lester was the chair at that time, and said, come and have an interview. Yes, that was on.
couple of options, all right?
Yep.
In the weekend.
I mui e tātou karakia. Me waia te tia tātou te himene, hei honore, hei kroria, maunga rongo ki te whenua. Hei kroria, maunga rongo ki te whenua. Whakaro ai e ki ngā tangata katoa. Ake ake, ake ake, hamine. Te atua, te piringa, tōku oranga, tōku oranga. Kei nui tātou. E tātou e tūnei mātou ki tau aroaro me te mahara he tangata hara mātou. Engari e whakauru atu ana ki tau aroha me tau atapai. Kia piri tonu mai koe ki a mātou. E whakamahara i o mātou nākou. O mai ki a mātou he maramatanga i manu anui, kia tika ai tō mātou no me tō mātou whakarite e au hihi. Ara hina mātou i runga i tau whakaronui, whakatūria mātou ki tau kaha. Ko koe tonu te atua pono, i roto i te krori o te matua me te tamaiti. Koto hihia, kia whipi te katoa ki te tika. Kia tautoko ki mātou i inga tike o te ihi me te rahi. Kia kaua mātou i riro kē tuku aretanga, e rarura nei te mataku. I te nākau apo, ku iu kraiti ki tō tātou ariki. Amen.
mauri ara te whea o ki te ao mara. Mihi ko ana tarangi ki te whenua ki ta tātou atua mō na manaakitanga katoa. Kia uhia tonu o na manaakitanga ki nui ki ta tātou ki a ki tu hei tia. E tōna whare kāweri ki nui tonu paimari re kia rata. Ki mai, kake mai, ho mai te wai ora kia au, ko tae mai nei koutou e ngā rangatira o te whare mie. Kawea mai o koutou mate ki rungi kia mātou, kia tū hono hono rātou ki ngā mate tēnei taki wai roto o tāmaki ki rau. Kia tangi hia, kia mihi hia ki te whenātu rātou ki te kōko te whenua. Aere ngā mate o ki oki atu. Ko tātou tēnei te mungora, a ki ora mai rā tātou katoa. No reire te premia, a te senda, tēnā koe. Kaira mai, mauria mai, ngā huatanga katoa kei runga i a koe. Koana te ngā kau ki te atua i a koe ano, ngā wā omua. Ki te mihi atu au ki a koe, i roto i ngā mahi hoia i tau awa. No reira, ngā mihi nui ki a koe. Mauria mai o koutou, hoa, koutou kaimahi, tō reira e te minita mō ngā take haura. David, tēnā koe. E mihi anō tēnei ki a koe, haina mai, whakatau mai. Aha koa, tu rei tira wa, hoi anō. Ko tae mai runga te karanga o te kaua. Me te mihi anō ki tō te katoa. Me ki rā, e mihi kawana ki ngā mema o te moana nui akiwa. Koutou rā, mātou o te tangata whenua ki te mihi atu ki a koutou. Me te mea anō, hei konei, a mātou me ki te tiamana o te puari o te hauora o Tāmaki Kiraro, a Mākashi, ke te mohia tonu koutou ki ai. Me tō mātou puti puti, me ki tā mātou puti puti a Māti Apa. Nā mātou tēnā, nā te mea, nā mātou i pōwhiri ai i roto ki nu ngā noe, i ngā kaupapa o roto i tēnei hoipea. Nō reira ke te mihi atu ki a koutou. Koina ke te hoki atu ki a koe e te premia tisina. Me mōhi o koe, tēnei hohi pera nā ngā Amerikana. Omua, i te pakanga tuarua, i waihanga tēnei whai. Nā rā me ki rā, me o nā ahuatanga e whāna ki rungi. Ia, tēnā whea koe rate te ahuatanga, o ahua mate haere. Koe noa, i runga i tērā, tēnā wheka ki te hua, te wairuatanga, a ka whānui tia i rote i tēnei rā. Tēnei ki te mihi atu ki a koe. Me tātou katoa e hui hui nei, me te mārea ko tā mai tēnei wā. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.
Te karangi nui. Te papatunu ki tue ki tau marama. Tutura piti whakamau ki tina homi e hui e. Tahi e. Tēnei o tātou nei pohi pera. A meru mua. E tū mai, runga papatunu ki te whenua ki wā. Tēnā kaurua. Ki o tātou tūpuna whānau, rātau mā, ko ngā roti ki te pō. Moi mai, moi pai mai kōtau. I roto nā ingo tō tātou matatarangi. Ka hoki mai rāna mihi kia tātou, nā ka nui ora. Te mihi tūtahi mi atu rā ki nā whae e rua. I roto te reo karanga o tēnei pōwhiri. Nō reira nā mihi nui kia kaurua. Ā mihi tonu atu kia koe, e ropata. Nā ui tūpira mai tō tātou nei rā. I roto nā reo whakamumi. E tika hoki nā kōrero, ko tō tātou matatarai, te timata, e te muitunga mea kapo. Nō reira nā mihi nui kia koe. Ā kia kōtou hoki. Ā, kia koe hoki, te rangatiro o te hoipera. Nā mihi nui kia koe. Engari kia kōtou te paitapu. Mihi mai. Mihi mai ki tēnei. A Jacinda, te piriwa o Aotearoa. Ā, me tēnei hoki, a Rāwiri. Koe hoki te minuta I roto te hauara. Engari ia, tāna kōrero. Ko te waka, I ture, kāre o, ia, ture, ko te waka noi. Engari te mea nui, ko tae mai rāua, ke konei ki te kōrero, e pāna ki te hauora, a te wā, ka huri atu ki waho, ki te titiro atu ki tō tātou nei pare pirau. Parahatai e, umai rā, te pūtea kia tātou. Ai whakapai, pēr. Engari, e raurang tira mā kaire tūro nā kōrero. Ka wahi atu rā nā kōrero mo tō tātou nei premier, a Jacinda. Ai tū atu ki te kōrero kia kōtau, me tēnei hoki, a Rāwiri. Ai kōrero rā kia kōtau. Nā reira kia tātou katoa, tēnā kōtau, kia ora mai tātou katoa.
Ora.
Te aloha. Te whakaporo, me te rangi mari e tātou e.
Tika hoki nā kupuero tērā waiata. Te aroha, koene hoki nā aroha o Jacinda me Rāwiri kia kōtau katoa. Nā reira kauri ke wera kōrero whakamutu o tātou tūpuna api te ono o tai hono. Te hunga mate kia rātau nā hunga mate. Api te ono o tai hono. Te hunga ora kia tātou katoa, nā kanuhi ora tēnā kōtau, aka, kia mai tātou katoa. Kauri?
Kia ora.
Katangi te titi, katangi te kāka, katangi te titi. Tirei mauri. Te hono re kōre ki tata. Te maungarongo ki te mata o te tēnā. Te whakaro pai ki nā tanga. Ka whakahona re tia ki te kiingi Māori, kiingi o te muti ko te kiingi tūheiti, a poto tau atu. Ko te hoa o te kiingi, te mākau ariki, e ata pai. Ko tā ariki tamaro, a whatūmo ana. Te mokopuna o te mutu, a hikai, e rire, hau, e pai mai. Nei he mi ane, te papa karikia, tikatanga o taupapa o te rāne. Te rangatira, te kōrero ane, te mana o te reo, nei te mi. Anō reira, he mi ane i te tumuaki o te karauna o Aotearoa, te tūmi, a Jacinda, tēnei te mi. Te pāpā o te whare, te whanaunga Clark, tēnei te mi. Te rangatira, kātou te moana, te whai. Te nāku, te nā. Anō reira, e rau rangatira mā. Te nā tātou kātou. I te tūmi, he mi ana, ki te tonga o nā rangatira, Tātei, he taonga, te rangatiro o the CMDHP. Tēnei te mihi. Kia wha. No reira, nā mi ana ki te kaupapa o te rāne. Tō awhi, tō aroha, tō mahi. Ki te ora o i tāmiki makara o ngā tangata. Anō reira, e rauranga whirawa. E nāke, e nāke, e nāke.
Te mea o nai nei te aroa, no nā tūpuna, tuku iho e tuku iho.
Anō reira, te hunga mate, haere, haere, haerea. Ki te hunga ora, te nāke, te nāke, te nāke.
Tōra.
Aharama.
Kia ora everyone, can I please now hand it over to the chairman of the board?
Tēnā koutou, malo ni. I just spent some time in Fiji, so I had bula constantly while I was there. Malo lele, talofa lava, kia orana and greetings. It's a great pleasure to welcome you all here today to Middlemore Inter-Counties Manukau. On behalf of our board, I'm particularly delighted to have our Prime Minister, Right Honourable Jacinda Ardern, here at Middlemore for the first time as Prime Minister. And welcome back our Minister of Health, David Clark, and our two local MPs, the Associate Minister of Health, the Honourable Jenny Salesa, and our Mangere MP and Minister of Pacific People, Pito William Seal. I thank our kaumātua and kuia for taking care of our proceedings this morning and welcoming our very special guests. And I'm a proud Samoan to be able to introduce and acknowledge our CEO, Whapuliai Margie Apa, who is our first Pacifica CEO of DHB in New Zealand and is doing a great job in leading us forward. I want to acknowledge all the members of the community who have come, particularly our young people from Ngāiwi Primary, who I understand are here to perform for us, but also they did on Saturday when we launched the Pacifica version of bell screening in Mangere Township. And so it's always good to have our young people here. A lot of people from the staff are here also, and I just want to talk a little bit about them. When I had my pōwhiri, I talked about the importance of this place to me, and I came on as the chair in May this year. And it reminded me that these are buildings, and today's announcements are capital announcements about buildings, but what takes place in these buildings is hugely important to all of us in the community. So on this campus I've had two of my siblings were born here, two of my children were born here, two of my grandchildren were born here, and for many in this space today they'll have similar stories about what this means to us in our communities. It can be the beginning of our lives. It can be a place we come to when we're unwell and we are looking for healing, and it can be for some the place that they may take their last breath. but they are buildings and they're only important because of the people who work within them. And I think Counties Manukau is blessed with some of the best and finest and most dedicated and committed people who come to work here and bring their talents because of the challenges that this community offers and the challenges that this community has to meet. So we are particularly grateful to the staff who continue to serve our community well and enable our babies to be born into our elderly to be cared for and our unwell to be healed. Without them, this place wouldn't be of great importance to the community, but with them, it's actually it's a vital cog in our community. So today is about allowing the Prime Minister and the Minister to make some very important announcements, and we as a board, and I acknowledge the board members that are here today with us. We've started some of us early this morning doing Audit, Risk and Finance Committee. We don't think we'll invite you to participate in that, but we'll show you some of the hospital and some of the people who work here instead. And when we've concluded our visit with you, we'll go back to do the Audit, Risk and Finance work. That's a vital part of board activity. But we acknowledge the government's commitment to the public health system, and the announcement in the budget of new capital funding for the whole of the country is welcomed by everybody. And we're very interested and keen to hear about what our share is this year, and we'll be interested to hear what it's going to be next year and the one after, because you understand all too well that we've been a focus of a bit of attention for what are the wrong reasons really in terms of what might be wrong with the physical infrastructure and what we need to fix it. But we also want to stress that we can be focused on for all the great work that's done here. So Prime Minister, it's my pleasure to ask you to speak first, and then Honourable David Clark will do so. We'll do after that, and then we're going to take them for a bit of a look at the good, the bad, and the ugly. But mostly, we want to see you, allow you to see the good parts of Middlemore. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and I'll hand it over to the Prime Minister to make her announcements. Thank you.
Kia ora koutou katoa, kia ora ana, malolele, nisa bulavanaka, whakalofalahi atu, maloni, namaste and ni hao. And can I say a warm thank you to everyone who took the time to wait so patiently. It wasn't the Minister's fault, I should add. His connections from Dunedin are a little sporadic sometimes, but just the warmth of that greeting as we walked in and the welcome that we had. Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts for being here to share with us this time together and this announcement together as well. I want to acknowledge the DHB chair, Mark Goshi, who is doing an incredible job for us and has his heart in this community, and that will be obvious in everything that he does, alongside a DHB board who feel likewise exactly the same. I know that those who serve on our boards are there for entirely the right reasons, and that is to serve the community, their health and wellbeing, and I thank you for your work. I do want to acknowledge the Counties Manukau Chief Executive for Puliai Majiapa. Wonderful to share a bit of time with you this morning too, and thank you for the work that you do. And also great to see the love coming from other DHB chairs as well. Pat Sneddon here too. My ministers and colleagues, David Clark has a big job on his hand being the Minister of Health, and it's not always that he gets to spread capital love around the country. He has to make a lot of tough calls in the role that he does, but I thank him for the dedication he brings to the role. Likewise, you have excellent representation in Ministers Jenny Salisa and also Pero Williams-Seal, who do an incredible job, and I can tell you have a huge amount of pride in the South. Whenever I come here, Opiro says to me, "Welcome to the home of the young, the brown and the beautiful, and world champions." That's a new addition, he's added that one, and rightly so. I actually want to start where the DHB chair started. You know, for all of the coverage that there has been of late around Counties Manukau, there has never been anything wrong with the heart here. we've talked a lot about buildings. We've talked a lot about the need to improve the infrastructure in which you work. And that is true. But there has never been anything wrong with your heart. The people who work here have continued to work diligently, conscientiously on behalf of the people who need them every single day, regardless of the environment in which you have worked. So that's where my acknowledgement goes first and foremost. And the second thing I want to acknowledge is that when we talk about wanting to improve the well-being of New Zealanders, there can be almost nothing as important as their health. It sits at the centre of our well-being, both our mental and physical health. And I have a favourite saying of mine that I love sharing, and people would have heard me repeat it a lot, and it's not my saying, it belongs to a great man and past Prime Minister Norman Kirk. And he used to say that all anyone ever needs is somewhere to live, something to do, someone to love, and something to hope for. And when you think about hope, that idea of looking to the future and feeling hopeful about what you might be able to leave for your moko, for your kids, actually so much of that is tied into whether or not we are well, whether we can be there physically for our moko and our tamariki. And so that's why I see this health and well-being, our physical and mental health, being at the centre of what we need to do as a government. And we can't deliver that without the bricks and mortar being in good shape. It detracts from the job that you do. It makes it harder if you don't have the facilities that you need and the infrastructure that you need. And that's why in the last budget we put aside $750 million as a first step towards rebuilding New Zealand's health system, our hospitals, increasing capacity so they can cope with a growing and an ageing population. And it was the biggest capital investment in health in at least a decade. Now, what have we done with that so far? Well, we've put in $275 million for critical infrastructure at Auckland City Hospital and Green Lane. And some of that was about pipes, it was about water, about even making sure that the lifts are still working. We put in $200 million for a new elective surgery unit at North Shore Hospital. $24 million for cardiac care facility in Whangarei. $45 million for a new Wellington Children's Hospital. $8 million for individualised service units at Capital and Coast DHB for our most high needs intellectual disability and mental health patients. And $7 million for the Phase 2 redevelopment at the Bay of Islands Hospital. But we know there is more to do, and that includes here. And so today we are here to announce another significant investment that we hope will help Counties Manukau DHB address some of those most urgent building problems that you are facing. We are here to share that we will be investing more than $80 million in 4 projects at Middlemore and the Manukau Super Clinic site. Now, because I'm the one that always comes in and steals the thunder of the Minister of Health, which is totally unfair, he does all the mahi and I come in and do the announcement, cut the ribbons and unveil the plaques. So I'm going to let him have the job of sharing a little bit more detail around what that up to $80 million is likely to go towards. But I do want to finish with just one final message. Last night, a friend of mine messaged me. He was here visiting a family member here at the hospital facilities, and he spotted some of the flowers being put together for the event this morning, and so he knew that I was coming. And thank you for everyone who's done such a beautiful job of dressing the reception. And he was here to visit a family member. And so he took the opportunity to share with me this message. He said that here within this DHB, that you provide, quote, an essential and distinct culture of care and compassion. He said he had been visiting this place more often than he would have liked of late, but that he was overwhelmed by the way that the staff have treated his family and the care that is so unique to Counties Manukau. And so I wanted to share that message of thanks on behalf of someone who's experiencing that care every single day, and to say thank you once more for the work that you do. I'd now like to hand over to the Minister of Health, Dr. David Clark.
ngā mana, i ngā reo, i ngā karanga maha o te wā. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Ki ngā mana whenua, anua nei aku mihi ki a koutou, ki te peremia, tēnā koe. He mihi mahana ki a koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Talofa lava, whakalofa lahi atu, malo lelei, kia ora ana, bula vanaka, namaste, warm Pacific greetings to you all. It is my very real pleasure to be here today for this important announcement. And on behalf of Air New Zealand, as they say, I apologise for the delay in today's the running of today's service. We did get here in the end, and I thank you for your patience. Can I thank the Prime Minister for her being here, and also for her leadership across the health sector and the strong emphasis she places on the importance of caring for people in every aspect of their lives, from health, through mental well-being, through education, housing, and so on. We have a terrific Prime Minister, and it is a real honour to serve with her in our Cabinet. Can I acknowledge Vui Mark Goshi and Counties Manukau Chief Executive Whipulei Majiapa. Hi, and hi Mark. It's good to see you both. And also acknowledge my associate Jenny Salisa in the health portfolio, and Mangere MP and Minister for Pacific People, Peter Williams-Seo. Good to see you here. I want to echo the Prime Minister's acknowledgement of the staff here at Counties Manukau and at Middlemore across the DHB. As Health Minister, I'd never tire of saying just how lucky we are in New Zealand to have such skilled and dedicated staff who turn up to work every day to care for the people they are entrusted with. The work you do here, as always, in a rapidly growing population that proportionately carries a significant need, is incredibly meaningful. It is so important to your community, as we have heard Mark Goshi say. And what that means in practice is staff at Middlemore and Counties Manukau Super Clinic are faced with some of the most complicated and difficult health challenges of any DHB in the country, and they do a terrific job in that context. We know so many of the drivers of the health system sit outside the health system itself, in education, in housing, in income and employment. This government is committed to tackling those longer term issues through the things like the Families Package that's boosted incomes, lifting the minimum wage, building more houses through KiwiBuild, and introducing stricter requirements on rental properties, making tertiary education more affordable, including for polytech and trades training. In time, these policies will address economic drivers of poor health outcomes and inequity, but in the meantime, we are asking staff here to turn up day after day and meet the challenges of this population, and they are complicated, and I thank them for that. Those staff that are working in facilities deserve to be working in quality facilities that are well maintained. They have to worry about caring about their patients, and they shouldn't have to worry about the state of the buildings that they're in. Sadly, we know about 1 in 5 of the hospital facilities in the northern region are in poor or very poor condition or not fit for purpose. It doesn't mean the quality of care is compromised in any way. Great care is delivered from these buildings, but it does mean we face a major task in the renewal of our buildings. As the Prime Minister's already indicated, it will take time, but this government is committed to sustained investment in our hospitals so that staff and patients have the facilities that they deserve. Which brings me to say a little more about today's announcement. The Prime Minister's announced that we have set aside for capital works at Counties Manukau DHB funding totalling around $80 million. This funding means that Counties Manukau DHB can plan with certainty and develop business cases for 4 important projects. The first of these is the recladding of the Kids First building. This is part of an ongoing, phased approach to recladding clinical buildings at the DHB. I think everyone here will be aware of the recladding work currently underway in the Scott building I certainly am. It remains in use by patients during this work. The second project I want to mention is the relocation of the radiology department. Currently it's housed in the Galbraith building, which is more than 50 years old. Radiology will be moved to the Harley Gray building, a more modern and suitable facility for this important service. The other two projects relate to the Manukau Superclinic site. Currently, patients at the Superclinic who require CT or MRI have to be transferred to Middlemore. Establishing a new radiology hub at the Superclinic will make life much easier for patients and the staff that deliver that treatment. And the final project relates to critical infrastructure at the Superclinic, including new plant rooms, substations, IT, medical gases and parking. All this work is needed to support the expansion of clinical services in the short and medium term. These projects will significantly improve the standard of key facilities. They will also help position Counties Manukau DHB to better handle a growing population with complex needs. Upgrading and repairing hospital facilities is no small task. It requires careful planning to minimise disruption to patients and staff while maintaining services throughout. These investments demonstrate the government's commitment to addressing the problems with health infrastructure and facilities, and these projects will make a real difference to the communities of Counties Manukau. So in closing, I want to say that investment in facilities is necessary, but it's the high quality service provision that requires high quality staff, which is an ongoing achievement of this DHB. I want to acknowledge the staff who work for Counties Manukau DHB and who consistently provide high quality care and who bring their skills and dedication to work on a daily basis. Thank you very much. I have no doubt that you will continue to deliver services during the challenging and disruptive time that happens when buildings are changed and made up, and I do want to thank you for that. And I also want to acknowledge the leadership here at the DHB. Thank you for your drive. Thank you for pulling the business cases together that you are doing right now to deliver on these projects. It is complex work. Business cases are complex to develop, and I look forward to receiving successfully completed business cases as promptly as they can be delivered. And I look forward to seeing the completion of these projects. Thank you for having us here. Thank you for your ongoing service to the people of Counties Manukau. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Kia ora koutou.
Kia ora. Cool. I think this is ours.
bless you guys. Sweet.
It takes so bloody long, doesn't it? Oh, sorry, mate. Hey, sorry.
Cheese shot?
Hey?
You get the cheese shot?
Yeah, mate.
Put it in the right, both in the right position.